Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. We are going to combine my May wrap up and my June TBR in one video. I definitely did not get to as much as I would have liked in the month of May, but nonetheless it was a very good reading month. In regards to the quality of books that I've read, I had so many 5 stars in May. It was absolutely insane. So just to give a little recap, the books that were on my May TBR were Love Letter to Whiskey, What the River Knows, Caught Up, The Sweetest Oblivion, First Time Caller, Yours Truly, Phantasma, and Ruthless Fae. And out of all of those books, I got to 4 of them, but I also did finish 2 books that were left over on my April TBR. So let's go ahead and get into all the books that I read in the month of May, and then we'll jump into my June TBR. I started off the month with 2 absolute bangers. I read Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is a young adult contemporary romance that follows Johnny and Shannon. If you haven't heard about this book, I would be so shocked. Definitely read your trigger warnings before going into this one, but this was a 5-star for me. This was so good. What I will say is this story packed such a punch. It had me in tears. Read your trigger warnings before going into it. Next up, I read The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole, and not only was this a 5-star, but this also may be one of my top books of the year so far. This book was everything I never knew I needed after Throne of Glass. I finished Throne of Glass, I think it was the end of last year, and this did it for me. This is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series, which is a romantasy series that follows Diana and Sam Kyle. There are 3 books out currently. The 4th book, I believe, comes out in October. Okay, yes, the 4th book comes out October 28th of this year. The plot of this one will literally grip you from the beginning and pull you straight through to the end. I could not put this one down. Again, tabbed. Okay, I don't think you can see the lighting. I tabbed the crap out of this book as well. This I could see being in my top 3 all-time favorite books, which is insane to say. Definitely all-time favorite series. It was so good. If you guys have not picked this one up, definitely do it. She is the villain, he is a god. They would burn the world down for each other. Okay, after those 2 books, I picked up Caught Up by Liz Ford, which is the 3rd book in the Windy City series, which is a sports romance series. This is a single daddy nanny trope, and it is so good. I have only read one other single daddy book, but this takes the cake for me. I have yet to tab it. I still have my copy on Kindle Unlimited save because I need to go ahead and transfer the highlights into tabs. But this was also, I'm pretty sure it was a 5-star. Okay, yes, this one was also a 5-star. Kai is a baseball player. He didn't know his son existed until his son was dropped off basically at his doorstep because the mom no longer wanted him. And he was ready to literally quit his career, and the team has been so helpful with getting him nannies and whatnot, and he just keeps firing every single one of them until Miller steps in, which is his coach's daughter. And she is a pastry chef who has currently lost some inspiration, so she takes the summer off to nanny for Kai, and it goes from there. This book is so good. It is on the spicier side, so if that's your vibe, I would be warned before picking this one up. But as someone who doesn't enjoy spice, I can like skim over the spicy scenes. This book is definitely worth a read. And after that, I was ready for some more fantasy romantasy, so I picked up Ruthless Fae, which is the 2nd book in the Zodiac Academy series by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I ended up giving this one 4.25 stars. It did take me a little bit to get into, but regardless, this series is so fun. The books are a bit on the longer side, but they read so quickly, and I love where everything is going between the 2, what I'm perceiving to be the main couples of the entire series, and the ending had my jaw dropped, and I am so ready for book 3. I don't own it, and I'm going on a book buying ban, but I definitely need to continue reading it on Kindle Unlimited. That's another bright side about reading such a long series, is that they're all on Kindle Unlimited. And then I bounced straight back to a contemporary romance. I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the 2nd book in the interconnected series of Part of Your World. This follows Brianna, who is a Latin American emergency room doctor, and Jacob, who has just transferred to her hospital, who is also an emergency room doctor. And this book was so good. I think I quite literally read it in like 3 sittings. I did film a reading vlog reading this book. Their relationship was so cute. It has fake dating, it has the one bed trope, it has workplace romance, and if you're looking for something cute to read this summer, definitely pick this one up. And also in that same reading vlog, I read Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, which is the first book in the Wicked Games series, which is essentially a dark gothic romance. That's how I would perceive it. This deals with OCD. I would say there are little bits and pieces of lots of popular books in here. It reminded me of One Dark Window, a little bit of the Kingdom of the Wicked series by Karen Maniscalco. It had a little bit of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. But nonetheless, it was so good. I did end up giving this one 4 stars. It was a little too insta-lusty for me, but regardless, I really liked the plot and the relationship between the main character and the MMC. Her mom dies at the beginning of this book, and her sister, in an attempt to save them from this all-consuming debt and losing their family home, enters Phantasma. And Ophelia, being the older sister, she of course has to go into Phantasma to save her, where she teams up with Blackwell. This book, it's a page turner, and that is all I will leave you with. If you like romantasy, definitely pick this one up. I feel like it's worth a read. And the last book that I finished this month, mind you, I'm filming this on the 31st, so I'm hoping I might be able to squeeze in one more, but I will tell you guys at the end of this the books that I'm currently reading. I did finish The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Lowry last night. This is my second mafia romance that I've ever read in my life. The first one I wasn't the biggest fan of, so I was very skeptical to read another one, but this was no disappointment. This book was so good. It was so fast-paced. I really loved the mafia setting. And Elena as a main character was so interesting. I do wish I got a little bit more of Nico in this book, which is why I ended up giving it 4 stars. But this is so addicting. I can definitely see myself being a mafia romance girly, or maybe I'm just a Danielle Lowry girl because her writing is so good. I'm gonna read you guys a quote to try and convince you to read this because I feel like this is a really good introduction to mafia romance if you're a little bit on the skeptical side like I was. Oh, okay. Regardless of what I was born into, I always thought of myself as a moral and honest person. Maybe my roots were too deep, or maybe love gave a woman a reason to let her dark colors shine because I suddenly knew I would lie, cheat, and steal for this man. I would burn the world for him. He was king of Costa Nostra, and he was all mine. There's another one in here. Don't psychopaths like souvenirs? He is crazy, by the way. Oh, this also has touch her and you die. Literally goes, I swear to God, Elena, if you let some man touch you, I will deliver his hands to you in a box. And I do not effing bluff. Anyways, this book was so good, and that is all I will say. This was 4 stars, but I can definitely see myself rating another book in the series 5 stars, so yeah. Okay, so that is all the books that I've read from start to finish in the month of May. Now on to the books that I am currently reading. I'm going to mention it just because it was on my TBR, but I'm only, I think, 8 pages into First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. I am not even going to say any thoughts on it because I'm only 8 pages in, but I'm going to try and read a good chunk of this today. And then last night, immediately after finishing The Sweetest Oblivion, I started the Mattis Obsession. So I am currently listening to an audiobook. I have a Kindle book, and then I have a physical book. I am primarily reading this on my Kindle right now just because it wasn't on my TBR, but I needed to jump straight into this book. This follows 2 side characters that are in the first book that I was super intrigued by. And this one I am a whopping 20 pages into. Mind you, I could see myself finishing this before I finish First Time Caller. So we'll leave that there. The audiobook that I'm listening to is Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh, and I am 157 pages into this one. This one I am not that far into. I keep putting it down. I think it's because part of me really wants to just physically read it, but the books are so long that I picked it up on audio. So we'll see. I'm probably gonna finish part 1 of the audiobook because it is split into 2 parts. I do really love the narrators, I will say that. But I just want to be able to physically read it and tab it. But I might swap over to physically reading it once I finish part 1 of the audiobook. Okay, so that being said, obviously starting off with June, for my June TBR, I am going to try and finish these 3 books here. But we are going to be doing something a little different. We are not going to be doing the TBR jars this month. I am going to be giving you guys my essential mood reading TBR for June, the books that I would like to get to. Mainly continuing series that I'm currently in the middle of because I have started so many good series recently and I want to do nothing but binge them. Hence me starting the Mattis Obsession just after finishing The Sweetest Oblivion. So essentially, here's all the series that I hope to continue in the month of June and all the books that I hope to get to. First off, I'm going to mention Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. I hope to read both this and Rewind It Back in the month of June. I need to finish the series ASAP, but at the same time, I don't want it to end. But like, they're going to be consumed, and especially I have quite a few fantasy and darker contemporary romances on this list, so I feel like these will be a good buffer in between. I also hope to read Enchantra, which is the second book in the Wicked Game series by Kaylee Smith. I would like to be caught up with this one. I stand corrected from my May TBR. This is not a duology. I just saw on Goodreads that there is going to be a 3rd book. I would like to be ready for that one when it comes out, so I'm going to try and get to this one this month as well. I am also going to try and finish the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I have Twisted Hate left, and I believe it's Twisted Lives is the last book. I don't own it, but I'm probably going to listen to both of these on audiobook, just that way I can go ahead and finish this series. And like I said, I feel like this will be another good buffer in between all the fantasy books. And I do have a feeling that once I finish the Mattis Obsession, I'm going to be jumping straight into The Darkest Temptation, which is the last and final book. I'm gonna say the last and final book because book 4 has been like projected to release for like, I don't know how many years. I looked it up on Goodreads and I am upset about it, so we're not gonna talk about it. But I will be hopefully finishing this series this month as well. And then we also have books 2 and 3 in the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. I have wanted to do nothing but pick up these books since I finished the Book of Azrael. I cannot stop thinking about these characters and the world and the ending of the first book. We have The Throne of Broken Gods and The Dawn of the Cursed Queen, and I'm so ready to consume these books. And then I do not own the last book, but I would like to reread Powerless by Lauren Roberts so I can read Reckless and Fearless that just came out. And that is all I am going to mention for now because I feel like that is enough. That is ambitious. I also might try and read 1 or 2 more books out of the Zodiac Academy series, but I have a series tracker in this little notebook that I have, and there are way too many on here that have not been checked off yet. So that is going to be the goal, to get some of these checked off. I would also like to get through a good chunk of the Boys of Tommen series. I lied, I'm gonna mention one more book. I have Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse, which is a fantasy, sci-fi, apocalyptic type series. I read the first book, Black Sun, last year and I was obsessed. I loved it, but book 3 didn't have a release date when I first read it, and I saw book 3 in Barnes and Nobles, so I'm going to try and get to this one as well so that way I could read book 3. The first book ended on such a cliffhanger and it is so interesting. I would say honestly go into this one blind because it will shock you to your core, and that's all I have. Okay, so that is all the books I've read in May and my June hopefuls, if you will. I am being quite ambitious and I cannot believe I started filming and I completely forgot. I left my cup of coffee right there. It is indeed cold and it needs to be warmed up now, so that's fun. But thank you guys for watching. I will be posting a full TBR video shortly of every that I own that I have not yet read. And I am going to be doing a TBR tackle series because I just have so many books that I have had for years, and although I'm reading my newer books, I need to get to my backlist stuff. That is the goal for the next handful of months, possibly until Christmas time. My exception will probably be any new releases for series that I'm currently reading, such as the fourth book in the Book of Asriel. We have the second book in Quicksilver. So that is where I'm at right now. So stay tuned for that video if it sounds interesting to you. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how many books I have that I have not read yet. But yeah, that is all. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys are hoping to read in the month of June. I am also in the mood for summer contemporary romances. Oh, guys, I almost forgot. I also need to read Just for the Summer, so that way I can complete this interconnected standalone series. But yeah, that is all the books that I also hope to get to in June. I'm hoping it's a really good reading month. It is going to be busy, not as busy as May, but pretty busy. So we will see what I get to. Stay tuned. I do have another reading vlog coming soon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.